I'd like to make a motion to open the Zoning Board of Appeals on September 4th, 2003 at 7:30. Do I have a second?
I second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Well, welcome to the Zoning Board of Appeals meeting, and I'd like to welcome our new members tonight. We have Kathy Franson, and we have an alternate member, Daniel McDonough. Regular member is Jane Moran, Chris Reddy, sort of a part-timer, and I'm Tom Wakefield, and this is Deborah Young.
Thank you.
Deborah Young, and Julie House. And tonight we'll go by the agenda, and since we have all members available, we don't have to talk about the 4-0 vote, and hopefully for next year or so that won't be an issue. So the first thing on the agenda this evening is application 2007-2 White Birch Village 40B application. It's the continuance of a 40B comprehensive permit for the land located at 151 Center Street, parentheses, Strawberry Fields, under the direction of James Bussing to construct 100 units under Mass General Law, Chapter 40B. The peer review will be discussed. Application plans may be discussed with anticipated vote. No final action will be taken on this application. What do we have here?
This is the next one.
This next one, okay.
Yep.
Jim, I see you're here. What's happening?
Maybe we should pull this table forward. Excuse me, Charlie,
Oh,
I'm gonna get in
yeah.
your way here.
Okay.
I put it too far back. Hi, Jim.
Hi. Okay, I'd like to continue this for 2 months. As you're aware, the town's working on purchasing the property, so I'd like a continuance for 2 months from today, whenever your meeting is, 2 months.
So, November, which two?
November 6th.
November 6th, 2013. Are we progressing towards the purchase?
Yeah, things seem to be going pretty good right now.
Okay, good. I'll read for the record, this is dated the August 20th, 13. Zoning Board of Appeals, care of Julie House. Applicant is White Birch Village, amended comprehensive plan application. Property is 150 Center Street, Groveland, Mass. DMS House. The applicant in the above referenced matter hereby requests further continuance of the board's hearing currently scheduled for September 4th, 2000 meeting to the meeting of November 6, 2013. You guys want to look at this?
You didn't make a motion to accept yet, did you?
No,
Okay.
no, we're just gonna look at that stuff, yeah.
Just looking?
Yeah.
Who scratched?
Long story. I'm going to Hollywood for you. Trying out for the movie to start.
Is that what it is? Okay.
So, I need a motion. Have a motion?
I motion to accept the
Okay.
extension of 2 months.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous.
Did you sign it?
It's been a while, I forgot now. The only one that isn't would be Dan McDonough.
Just the, yeah, extra, the new one is out to go.
You're all set, Jim. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Jim.
Hopefully, things will move along.
Yep, hopefully.
Okay, thank you. Okay, the second item on the agenda is application 2013-4 made by Anthony and Paul DeLeo for a special permit to expand the footprint of a building and remodel the interior at the premises located at 180 Main Street, Assessors Plat 6, Lot 25, according to all applicable sections of the Town of Groveland zoning bylaws, including Section 800. And then we have some asterisks here that a letter has been received stating they would like to withdraw their application. So, would Anthony or Paul be here? I don't remember.
Doesn't look like it.
Okay. Then I would, for the record then, I guess this is dated 8/28/13. I would like to withdraw my application from the zoning board, and it's signed by both Paul and Anthony DePaulo.
DeLeo.
Excuse me, DeLeo. Sit down and check that out. Now, when they withdraw, Julie, does this get like put in a file, or is it a date issue?
I'll be typing up a document saying that we'll do their withdrawal, so that way it'll be closed.
No purchase.
Close, okay,
Yeah.
without purchase, So, we need a motion.
I motion that we accept the Leo's application to withdraw.
We have a
Second.
Second, Debbie. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
We're all set, that's the 5-0. Okay, next item is application 2013-11 made by Dr. Laura Ann Potvin, PC, for a special permit to open an optometry practice at the premises located at 939 Salem Street, Unit Number 7, Assessors Plat 49, Lot 001-6, 001-7, according to all applicable sections of the Town of Groveland zoning bylaws, including section 801.2. And I know you're here, so you can sit up and tell us what you'd like to do.
Basically moved my practice from 291 Main Street to 939 Salem Street. I outgrew the space on Main Street.
This is a good thing.
It is a good thing. And I wanted to stay in Groveland.
That's another good
Thank
thing.
you. We need all the business we can get.
Now, in relation to the other businesses in the building, where is this one?
Where's 939 Salem?
No, the
Salem Street.
number, Unit
7.
7.
Unit 7 is between the Attorney Asino, and it was where the Ocean Ventures seafood place was, but they are vacated the building and they're for sale. So I'm third from the right end.
And is everything there now, or is it vacant?
Well, actually, I was not very knowledgeable about the proceedings, and I gave my landlord the notice and signed my papers, so I have been there since August 6th. I did not do anything to the establishment itself. It was already completely finished for a doctor's office. I believe there was a doctor in there previous to myself.
Merrimack Valley Hospital used to occupy the space. They're the ones who did the rehab of the whole place. I don't know how many years now, 7 years ago or something like that, whatever it was, and they were there, and they since left. And so Dr. Laura needed a new space, so she moved up here. It's basically the same use as it was before, except she's an optometrist instead of
What was
PC.
it for?
Huh?
What was it?
A general practitioner, primary care. And I've done nothing to the inside, that pretty much is the same.
And what are your hours of operation?
My hours of operation are Monday 7:30 to 5, Tuesdays 9 to 7, Wednesdays 9 to 5, Thursdays 7:30 to 7, Fridays.
Slow down. I'm not saying, I gotta write this down.
He's
Oh, I'm
old,
sorry.
you know, and he's a little
Where did I lose
slow.
you?
Usually I was gonna, Monday through Friday, no, you're gonna go every day.
And we try to accommodate everybody we possibly can.
Can we get him an appointment? I can't-
He already told me he travels to Kittery.
Deaf and blind, poor guy.
You do?
I think it was in.
Much better parking.
Yeah, they are.
I have trash removal at this location. I'm like in heaven.
Tell you what,
And I'm fully handicapped accessible, which is even
Right, yeah.
better.
I know.
Well, that's good for you, Tom.
Yeah, right. You, when I came in for
Make
the
house
CNI
calls.
dog.
I have been known to do that as well.
Well, hey, what they're picking on the chairman for?
Yeah, let's see. It's easy this way.
Easy pickings, that's what you go
He's
for.
an easy victim, huh?
I'm gonna, Julie, I'm gonna write see the application, because it has that on there.
Thank you.
You don't have to repeat it, right?
You're sure? I don't mind. Go ahead.
And how about your maximum number of employees?
My maximum full-time or part-time?
Both.
Either way.
Either way, what do you have?
Okay.
Here, so.
What do you
10
have?
including myself.
You have now?
Yes.
Do you want to up that?
No.
Okay.
Okay, because, a couple years down the road, we
Oh,
want to
I
add
see what you're
some.
saying.
You will be in violation of your permit, so always go for more than you have, even if you never reach that.
13.
There you go. Going,
Lucky 13.
Okay.
See? It worked out good.
And the sign is,
Good point.
the sign is requirement is, what, 9 square feet?
Hmm?
9 square feet on the sign? You
no,
have
it's
a sign?
12 square feet.
12, you have a sign?
I do have a sign, and I stayed exactly the way
Well,
the signs
The
that were
building,
there.
yep.
Okay, the one that.
Yep, the one on the building and the one on the street.
Okay.
This is no
Not
fun,
deviate.
Tom. She's conforming me.
Yeah,
every
this,
time.
this isn't working.
Good job, huh?
This isn't working the way it needs to work. How about the parking? We had a big debate.
71 spots.
Think you see we get
Front and
71?
back of the building, there's 71 parking spaces.
Okay.
Are you sure?
Absolutely.
I haven't filled them all yet.
I counted them again tonight before I came here.
What kind of, is that small cars or large cars? No cars.
Smart cars.
Do you have any material deliveries? Like the
Yes, I
UPS
do.
maybe for like?
Yes, I do.
messages, yeah?
I have daily deliveries.
Yeah, and would be a UPS truck?
Yes.
And lighting is probably existing?
Yes.
No. Do you know what it's probably on here, maximum square foot of?
I believe it's 2025.
2005.
2005?
Well, 2005?
It's okay.
Gotta go down on the rent.
I'll add on.
You pay it by square foot.
Yeah, 100 square feet is 100 square feet.
Okay, let's see. Okay, I guess that's all the questions. How, do you have any questions? You'd like to ask?
No, everything is
How
here.
about you,
I'm good.
part-time?
I'm good. My daughter was able to get her contacts out, so man.
Okay.
We dodged that one.
Right on to you, I know the other night.
I'm glad I got a new.
I have adjusted my methods of doing things, believe me, after that one.
Dan, you got any questions?
No questions.
Okay. How about you, Miss?
Believe it or
Miss Young?
not,
Huh?
I'm okay.
Really?
Wow.
I got a question.
Hungry tonight.
Wow,
Well, this is the night for
This is,
singers, huh?
Yeah.
Hey, this is.
What, Charlie has a
Charlie's
question?
Audience, right?
Audience.
Give an exact description of where you are, where it's located.
On Salem Street?
Yeah, I want for the camera.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
It's about 1.9 miles from my office, so you would take, if you're coming down 113 towards the Groveland Bridge, you would take a left onto School Street. You will go down School Street past the Tea Garden, which will be on your right. School Street then becomes Salem Street. Do not follow your GPS because it'll send you to Bradford. Stay on 97, stay on School Street to Salem Street, and then you'll go by Pub 9, Hastings Flooring, Pub 97, and the next mall is a professional plaza with a green roof, and that's 939 Salem Street, and we're right in there.
Now, is there anyone else in the audience that wants to speak in favor of this? Or anyone wants to speak opposed? Okay, then I'll read it. I'll make a motion that we approve a special permit with the following guidelines. The hours of operations as outlined in the application. The maximum number of employees will be 13. The sign is 12 square feet. Parking is 71 automobiles. And the material deliveries would be UPS. Lighting is existing. The maximum square foot of the area is 2,005. And all the plans submitted will be part of this agreement. If the proposal is in the Aquifer Protection District, the applicant shall meet all requirements as deemed necessary by the Groveland Planning Board. It's subject to all Groveland Board of Health rules and regulations, subject to all laws, regulations, inspections, and others of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Special permit is subject to recall if the board receives any written complaints. No action or any variance or special permit or any extension, modification, or renewal thereof shall take effect until a copy of the decision is recorded in the Essex 7th District Registry of Deeds for the county and the district in which the land is located, and indexed in the index under the name of the owner, or is recorded and noted on the owner's certificate of title, and receipt of said transaction delivered to the building inspector prior to the issuance of a building permit. If the rights authorized to the applicant or the property owner by said permit are not exercised within 2 years from the date of granting the special permit, filing date with the town clerk, the board's decision, and such special permit rights shall become null and void unless a substantial use thereof has commenced except for good cause, or in the case of a permit for construction, if the construction has not yet begun by such date except for good cause. And there's one more issue that I don't have on here, and that's the issue of the appeal process.
Okay.
You want to, you have?
20 days to appeal.
Yeah, 20.
Yeah.
Be recorded within 14, and
Yeah,
20 days for appeal
There's
process.
a 20-day appeal that someone, if the other person watching that could appeal the board's decision. So that was, just want you to be aware of that. But at any rate, I need a second.
I second it.
Second, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We're all set.
Thank you very much. I invite all of you to come down and see my new office space. If anybody was in my old office space, you'll see quite a difference.
Okay.
Julie, tell her what she needs to do
Now,
before you
yeah,
leave.
We're gonna,
Oh, excuse me?
Julie's gonna tell you.
The decision will be filed within 14 days, and then there's a 10-day appeal process. I will be sending you a copy of your decision. After the 10-day appeal period, you need to see Ann Brody, the town clerk, to receive the original decision, which needs to be taken down to the registry of deeds to get stamped and
Where's
placed
the registry of deeds?
in Salem, Mass. And that needs to get recorded, and then the original decision needs to be brought back recorded and brought back to Ann Brody.
All right, and that will be all outlined in the letter you sent?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
And I do
Thank
want to-
you, good luck.
Thank you.
Okay, moving right along.
When are you gonna do another show?
When do you want me to do another one?
The application 2013 made by William and Teresa Dunn, owners of the premises located at 10 Garrison Street, Groveland, Plat 11, Lot 33, for a special permit to convert a barn into an accessory in-law apartment
Yeah, all right, do you want to have her?
according to all applicable sections of the Town of Groveland bylaws, including section 301.8. Mr. Dunn.
How you doing?
Floor is yours.
As you probably mostly, you guys know me, my wife Teresa, my mother and father-in-law Phil and Connie Kump. We're in the process of purchasing 10 Garrison Street. We're in the process of selling our house on Carlita Road, which we've been there for about 15 years. As most of you know me, I'm a small businessman in town. Try to always comply with the permits and what have you. The reason I'm coming before you tonight is because I didn't want to purchase the property, then come to you and then have a problem. So we haven't actually purchased it. The property is on 10 Garrison Street. I think Teresa submitted all the footages. I know it has 150 to 200 foot front. The rear is 65. It's on all the paperwork. It meets all the side and rear guidelines. The building itself, the first floor is 865 square feet. If you included the second floor living space, would be a total of 760 square feet. I'm looking to change the use from houses to a human. There'll be no changes to the building itself. I'm not going to change the size of the building or anything other than probably windows and doors. But the building, the same design, the same texture 111, what is there you see. The building might change color if I buy the place and I end up changing the color of the house. It does hook up to the city sewer. It does have city water, town water, town sewer. The renovation cost probably somewhere around $70K. It does have outside lights on the building already. We're going to comply and stay with the outside lights. The parking would be 2-car parking for the building, which would be down in the back of the property. And we will pull all town permits, building, plumbing, electrical, whatever we need to comply with if we end up purchasing the property. Any other questions? I don't know what else I can answer for you.
Yeah, I've got some questions.
Can I? Okay.
Go ahead, Debbie.
Why should go first? You know, like you first.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
I see two problems so far. In-law apartments are a given. They have to meet criteria. Now you said the bottom is 800 and something?
865.
And the top is 7?
It would be another like 853.
Okay, in-law apartment is only allowed 900 maximum.
But if they didn't use the top floor, which is just kind of cathedral space.
Okay. That's kind of a
Right now,
moot point at this juncture, and only because I'm going to tell you what the problem is. It's a good idea. But in-law apartments basically are attached to the main house.
Mm-hmm.
They're either a garage extension or a cellar. In-law apartments are not intended to be a separate building. Separate building can constitute, you know, someday up the road, breaking a piece of property, you have one house, two houses. You understand where I'm going? This is not the intention of an in-law. This is where it's getting fuzzy. Because this building is so far away from the main house.
I don't buy it.
That's a problem.
I don't know how are you going to access it, because the main building itself.
It's
takes up
not
the
meant to
whole
be
lot.
its own structure. It's meant to be an attachment to the original house. If you have a house, kind of like my house, it's a detached garage,
right.
and it's been there for years, and I had somebody live in there,
right.
I wouldn't, grandfather, have to worry about it
Right.
to do it if I wanted to have another or redo it as that.
Yep.
But if I don't, it should somehow be attached to the house.
Okay.
Because
I understand clearly what you're saying.
it's a one dwelling. It's a
Right.
family unit for one dwelling.
I can clearly hear what you're saying.
Okay.
Okay, I understand clearly. To answer the chairman's question, there's a driveway that goes down the property completely down to the rear of the property. There's a 3-car garage down past this structure. But in Groveland, and I'm not trying to be a stickler, but in Groveland, there's been cases they've given permits for separate buildings for in-law apartments. I know of 3.
I know a lot of people that have gone over the law as somebody who not only respects you,
Right.
but am very grateful for all you've done. I mean, you can't find a bigger fan. I'm telling you, as a zoning member sitting here,
Mhm.
I know what the law is that I've known for 10 years, and I don't go over it. I'm stating you my opinion.
Right.
This is not the intent of the law. This is the intent for families to live together, help each other, but not in separate buildings. So what I'm trying to tell you is, as far as I'm concerned, this is a no-go for me, because this is not an intent of an in-law. An in-law is an apartment. It's not a single structure. What somebody has done, and many times zoning boards in this town and others have overlooked or gone over the boundaries. I am not one of those people. I just want to make it clear my reasoning and why I feel this way, okay? I follow the laws as I see them, and that's the way I see them. And I think there's something in here about that.
Well.
Go ahead, Tom.
Well, under the special exception, the apartment sizes, that's a real, it's very clear that the maximum floor size is 900 square feet. We would need some plans to look at to see what you had in mind. I would prefer we proceeded with any type of vote. And you said there's a driveway. I didn't see the driveway.
If you pull into the property,
No, but it's hard to see. I was out there today.
if you pull into the main house, which is the top house, there's a garage when you pull in.
Yeah,
If you go to the right of the garage, it takes you right down to the rear of the property.
Yeah, so you come in here.
And you hit the barn first, and then past the barn, there's a 3-car
This
garage.
is the barn, and this is the 3-car garage.
It's difficult to see because you got the hedges in the front.
Yeah,
and
right,
it
right.
it was like.
To go back to the point of the 900 square
Yeah,
feet,
900 square feet.
what I'm trying to say, if, right now, to make the second floor habitable, they probably have to do some kind of roof structure change or whatever, you know what I mean, like dormers or something. If they didn't do that and they weren't gonna use the second floor, could the floors, if we came back with a plan, could they?
Well, I don't know about the second, if there's actually a second floor there.
It's just for storing hay.
I understand that, but.
So it's not a big deal to them.
Yeah.
I mean, the first floor is fine. I mean, they don't plan on going to the second floor anyway. But I just was trying to be honest and give you the total, you know what I'm saying? Right now, I don't think you could even really put anything up there other than storage, the way it is right now. It's, the roof comes to a point, but. So, I mean, if they came back with a plan showing the first floor living, all they're looking for is a bedroom, a kitchen, a den, basically that's it, am I correct?
The bathroom.
Bathroom, obviously, yeah. That was an important part.
No, I'll-
5-gallon bucket.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Deborah's gonna read a passage.
I want to read this. I want to read not only for your sake, but we have new board members that they're not used to the law. So maybe this would help them. In the zoning act, under 301.8, accessory apartments in residential districts. Now this is intended for the in-law apartment. The purpose and intent. It is the specific intent of this section to allow accessory apartments, including kitchens, within single-family properties of residential districts for the sole purposes of meeting special housing needs of grandparents, parents, brothers, sisters, children, and their respective spouses, achieve this goal, and to promote other objectives of this bylaw. Specific standards are set forth below, such as accessory apartment uses. Understand that in the in-law accessory apartment, it is such an apartment. That is the key word in this law. It's an apartment. Apartment size is the 900 square feet is the highest you can go. This is important too. This is 301.8.5. Preservation of the single-family characteristics. The accessory apartment shall not change the single-family characteristic of the dwelling except the provisions of the additional access and egress. Now, one of the things that was approved by this zoning board, which I was on, and I did not vote for it, was the fact that somebody put an accessory apartment attached to the house. And my problem was it no longer looked like a single family house because it had 2 driveways. You see, it's not to look like it's two families in there, it's supposed to look like a single family. So, for our new members also, and yourself, this is the intent of the law. It allows certain things to make bigger or accommodating for your family. But over and over again, they talk about being an apartment and being part of one dwelling, not two dwellings. And this is where the problem's gonna run into. Okay? Thank you.
You have anything else?
Nope.
Kathy, how about you?
No, I think they've answered most of the questions I had.
Well, feel free to ask questions. I was just kidding about not asking.
I know.
Chris? Oh, good one.
Asking about this. What is this?
That's attached garage.
Is it, you have an
Yeah.
attached garage to this house?
Yeah.
How big is that?
24 by 24.
It's an option. Making it bigger, it's already attached. You could use that for something. I mean, you are a businessman, you got a lot of equipment. Just, you have an attached garage? Options. Just trying to be helpful.
I did have one quick
Go ahead.
question. Is the fact that you're going to have approval from us part of your closing deal? So can you not have it? Is it like part of your P&S? I saw your P&S, but I didn't see anything that referenced this.
No.
Is it contingent upon this? Okay.
No, it's just basically, not a person, but my mother and father-in-law are looking for a place to retire and move to.
Yeah.
And the reason and I'm not trying to be wise when I say this, that people know I'm funny, hustlers don't talk back. Relatives do. You know what I'm trying to say? But what I was saying, I was gonna originally put hustlers down there and use it and make money that way. My mother and father are looking to try and retire and do their things. I'm like, well, perfect. You know what I'm saying? My father-in-law likes to cook, and they like their privacy. I'm like, what a perfect thing. You can go down back, you can have it, you can use it, and you can have your privacy, what have you. I can understand what Mrs. Young is saying. And I'm gonna reference back to what you were saying about the people in Grove. When people do it, I probably could have done it, but I wanted to be upfront and honest about it, you know what I'm saying? And
But to me, see,
And-
because other people do it,
Right,
I'm not gonna
understand.
do it.
I clearly understand. But when I referenced what you read, I did reference that,
Mhm.
and I didn't read or reference it to say that it couldn't be a separate dwelling. It doesn't actually spell out it can't be a separate
Yeah,
dwelling.
yeah, well, I think it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you read the 301.8.1, purpose and intent, and it goes to including kitchens, comma, okay, comma, then it says within single-family properties, within.
That's like when you take your builder's exam, they give you these trick questions.
Yeah. No, that's not.
You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, I understand what you're saying,
I
now,
mean,
within the property.
Clearly within
Right.
that.
If it was an apartment use before, grandfathered, it would say, okay, it was grandfathered. It has already been used as
Yeah,
that.
it's used-
It is not. It is not.
Like if that had been built prior to the zoning ordinance going into effect, and it was an accessory dwelling, and then you came down to change owners, which would require you to then come back for an approval, which we've had a couple of those, then you go to section 301.86, which does talk about existing detached structures may continue to be used for the same purpose, subject to special conditions imposed, so that it could have happened that if that had been built prior to the ordinance going into effect and being used as accessory dwelling, and then changing ownership, you'd have to come back because it doesn't remember the property, then it could be used. But in this particular case, as hard as it is to say, I have to agree with Debbie. And she's not always correct, but tonight I give her a gold star, because, yeah, she is, but that is a very big house, and Debbie said.
I know there are options there if you wanted to continue to think about it.
Yeah, that attached.
You could probably still have
garage type
houses.
thing, isn't there a second story on that attached garage?
Mm-hmm.
Not really.
Not
No,
to
it's
some
just a
dormers up there.
storage space above it.
Yeah, I mean, you may wanna,
Yeah.
that may be something to
Right.
consider, because
Right.
that would certainly fall within the parameters of the ordinance.
Right.
But, Chris, do you have any questions?
Well, I'm not clear as well. I mean, I look at 301.8.7, and it says there shall be no more than one accessory apartment for a total of 2 dwellings per lot.
That's how I read it. Is there-
It doesn't say 2 attached.
Right. That's
But
how
you
it
says
have to
two
read the
dwellings.
rest of the law to understand what they're
The
talking
person
to.
does, says it does, it says within.
Yeah.
They're using the words within to
Would
try
you like
and
to
tie it
borrow
back.
my
to-
glasses?
But
I'm
it's
just
an
reading
in-law
what's there.
apartment, that's the key word here, in-law
that?
apartment.
Okay.
Hold on, wait, Jane, you have anything first? We'll down, we won't forget you.
No, but I just wanna throw this back out there
Go ahead.
that, you know, it says that it has to be able to revert back to a single-family residence. So if you have 2 separate buildings on the lot, that doesn't comply with the law saying you know, if they move out or you sell it, it has to revert back to that single family.
Mhm.
Okay?
Right, right.
So, you know, I think that each section uses different language.
Verbiage.
However, it all together ties into the fact that you're talking about 2 dwellings in 1 physical structure.
Anybody else?
Dan, yeah, Dan.
I was
Go ahead.
new to the board here.
That's okay, go ahead. Yeah, we like new people.
Yeah.
You gotta pick on
We're
us.
really
Well,
not.
wait a minute, let's see what he has to say.
Yeah.
Seems like there's a, a gray area as to definition, so I'm looking at the new book to me, the Handbook of Mass Land Use and Planning, under definitions. Under 12.01, page 3.
You didn't open that book, did you?
I did.
Oh, that book wasn't to be opened. We didn't give you the instructions. Don't open the books.
All right. Okay. It says residential structures may be served by accessory sheds, garages, recreational structures, and other permitted buildings. Whether a particular structure is appropriately accessory is an ad hoc determination. It seems to me that it depends on what town you're in. For instance, here in Groveland, if it's a barn, and as long as it looks like a barn, how is someone gonna know it's a 2-family house or a 3-family or a 10-family house?
That's
If they
correct.
drive by and it looks like a barn, how do you know that it changes the character of that property simply because it's a separate unit? It's pre-existing structure on the land, and it's consistent with the community. If you were to build a barn,
Hold on just a second, because you're 100% right.
if you were to build a barn in a city where well, that's a barn there and it's not typical, then you may draw some attention that, hey, there's something
Hold on,
different.
let me just stop where you were. You're right to a certain point. What did you say is there?
Sounds like it's a barn.
There you go. Okay, now they wanna change the use from a barn to an accessory dwelling. It's not the same use,
Okay.
okay? So
No
that's
matter
where,
what it
that's
looks
where,
like.
that's where, now you gotta go to our ordinance in Groveland, which says that it has to be within the single-family structure.
So is it something within the curtilage or the area surrounding it? I'm not clear that that's, I heard the intent, but I'm not sure that that's what it says.
Well,
So,
because you're reading the Massachusetts
Yeah,
law, and we're talking about
we're talking-
Groveland bylaws.
Yeah, and that's the general laws, and these are the specific laws to the town, which is sort of.
Can I throw out a quick question?
Sure, you sure
If I
can.
came in here
Go ahead.
and I asked you people, I wanna convert that barn into a pool house. You know what I mean? I wanna convert it into put a sink, a toilet, a room for changing, et cetera, et cetera. Could you sit there and deny me, I wanted to convert it into a pool house?
Wow, you have a pool?
Yeah, is there a pool there?
Not yet, but I'm just saying.
He's gonna go to Kmart and buy one.
I'm saying that if there was a pool there, could you,
But that's a different use.
Yeah, it's just,
but it's
Still
no
not-
different than,
not
I'm not
a
trying to be
separate
argumentative, but I'm just trying to change from hustlers to humans.
Yeah.
My
Yeah,
point
yeah.
I'm trying to make is, if I come in here tonight
But
and I say,
hold on,
listen,
excuse me. But the pool house, okay, would be for the occupants of the single-family dwelling.
it wouldn't have someone living in it. is what I'm
That's
saying.
right.
Right.
It's all tied down to that single-family dwelling up front, and then, you know, it's single-family dwelling, and, yeah, the pool house would be your pool house, but it would be because you had a single-family
No.
dwelling, which. it's
Nobody is
accessory.
legally allowed to live
Yeah,
in it.
no one's living there, it's just the change and whatever, but.
It's a
So
change
the
of
answer is, yeah,
use.
you could do that without a.
This is all about the use. Now, you have options here. You have so many board members, you'd have to get a majority in order to pass what you want, seeing how you haven't purchased the property. But you might like it. You do have an option. You can continue
Yeah.
and seek out your options.
Right.
If you go to have a vote, you won't have any more options.
No, I don't wanna have a vote. I'd
So,
rather take the
so
option.
you are allowed to continue
Right, that's what I want.
and rethink about it. It's still, if you like the property, you have a large option in this and probably to get more. Even have horses or something else on that
Right,
property.
right.
But the way you're thinking about it is not a possibility. To do the right thing,
Right.
and it's always hard to do the right thing.
No, I would definitely like to continue it for sure.
Yeah.
And we'll go back to the fireman board and try and figure out what we can do.
Uh,
Because if I go for a vote, it's closed for, what, 2 years, is it?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can't come back?
Yes,
to
you
it?
can't
I don't
come
wanna
back,
go-
and that kind of straps you.
Right, I don't wanna do, I definitely wanna continue it.
Now,
And if I don't,
could you get it, could you be ready for the October meeting?
oh yeah, definitely.
Well, he can always continue from there once he comes in.
What's the date, October?
Hold
Don't
the
tell us.
question.
This is the first meeting we've had in a month
Hey,
now.
someone from
I
the
know, and I have
audience,
so much to say to him, so you
Yeah.
can't lock me up for a month.
Hold on, I just wanna get a date and then you can.
I'm just no good locked up.
October 2nd.
Wow. Okay, now, just wanna get the date. Go ahead, what's your name?
Bruce Adams, 108 Main Street. I've always wanted to do this myself, so I was curious. But one of the, I think you can put 2 houses on one lot
No.
if it's a certain size and has a certain frontage?
No,
Nope.
not unless you divide it legally.
No.
Okay.
Only one dwelling.
One dwelling.
Say that.
You can have 2-family, but it'll be attached.
You like this little town, Groveland?
Yeah,
How
I
long
do.
do you think it'd be a little town when you start allowing 2 structures on one piece of property? How long?
It would
10 years
certainly-
maybe?
It would change the
It's not only
character.
that either, it's-
But the
there's
point,
fire department
Fire
issues as
code.
well, yeah.
the point is, not every lot in Groveland could have 2 structures on it. The building inspector, you have guidelines, front, rear,
that's
side, so you couldn't get, yes, there is a lot of lots in Groveland, you could put a bigger building on, and maybe it would, you know what I'm saying? My point is, and this is what I think the board needs to take a second look at, I'm not asking to put a brand new building on this property. There's a building here, I'm trying to ask to change the use of the building from houses to people. And I mean, I understand law is law, but I probably shouldn't get on this board because I'm bendable. And that's where I'm probably wrong, because you have to go by law.
You
And-
were here to uphold the, whether
Right,
you like it or
right,
not. See,
right.
liking it and agreeing with it,
Right.
to me, is a separate issue.
Right,
It doesn't matter to me who it is,
yep,
how much I feel for them.
right.
I take that away. You have to take that away because the people in this town voted for the law this way for a reason. If we don't like it, we go to town meeting and we change it because it's not accommodating. But that's not my job.
Right.
I swore to protect what their intent was. And that's where you have to divide that. I myself could probably do it in my lot, even though it's non-conforming. If I wanted to put my father or mother in my garage, it is not attached. I will tell you right here that I would never do that. Even being on the board, I would not do that. Because it's a separate structure on my property, unless it was attached. I would not do it. I wouldn't even think about it.
Would you take the cars out when you put them in there?
I only have an army truck in
maybe
there.
she just doesn't like the parents.
Yeah, right.
You see, I wouldn't even do it.
Debbie's right, the issue is, and I've been around zoning for a long time, and what you have to do is if it doesn't work, you have to change it, or try to change it to accommodate that, because there's a reason that they voted it this way, but this is not unusual. I've worked in about 5 towns in code enforcement, and every one of them had the same type of setup where it had to be within the single dwelling, and it had to look like a single family dwelling. When you drove by it, it couldn't stick out like you put a big addition on it, and it had to just drive by and says, oh, just a single family dwelling, but you had an accessory, it has to be so that no one knows that it's there. So this is not unique to Groveland. So do we have some other people here? Do you have anyone else who want to speak? Open
right
meeting.
next to the lot.
Yeah.
And I've been wondering what actually it's going to be.
No, what's your name?
My name is James Stockbridge. I live at 20 Garrison.
20, I saw your house today.
It's a small little house, I know.
Yeah, you have the 20s right on the top step.
Yeah, well, yeah, right there. And I've been seeing it said contract. I was wondering what was the progress on the purchase.
What's your name again?
James
James.
Stockbridge.
Okay, Stockbridge, thank you.
Yeah, we were trying to wait to sell our property, and our property isn't going under agreement as fast as we wanted, but if it didn't go through, we're gonna put hustlers in there most likely.
Yeah, there was a horse back there before.
Yeah.
One named Mac. Really nice guy. Really nice.
Now, what side of the house you guys on?
To the right.
On the
Facing.
right, okay.
Yeah, if you're facing
Yeah,
the house.
the land kind of goes in behind.
A lot of time in your hands.
I was like,
Yeah, well,
I
you
was-
should.
And if I ever did purchase the place I plan on doing, is on your side where the land was, it's wetlands, you can't get there, but I'm probably gonna throw some pumpkins in there or something. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, that's it, yeah. Do you have any other questions?
The other question, I know that there's a landscaping business
Correct.
that you own. And I was concerned about, like you said, the wetlands back there, if there was gonna be any commercial,
No.
because there's a 3-car garage back there, and there's storage back there, and I just wasn't too sure if it was
We-
gonna
No, I have no intention of moving into that there.
We have a property on 156 Center Street that we run all our business. You might see a backhoe or
If I'm
excavator
working on
there
the
working on the
Yeah.
property, but other than that,
be.
no.
I didn't know if there
No.
was any kind of.
No.
What I was gonna use the 3 garages for was I love restoring antique cars and trucks, and I was gonna use one of the bays for that.
I'll be over.
Yeah. That's about it.
Is anyone else want to speak?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
They're with us.
Oh, do we? Okay.
They're the parents.
Then,
There might be hustlers at the end of the night.
No, 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 you're not going there.
I think they're in favor.
I think so. We need a motion to continue?
I motion to continue this till October 6th. Second.
Yeah. We need a second.
Second. Nobody else will be
Any
there.
discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You're on for the second.
Thank you very much.
Wish
Thank
you
you.
luck.
Oh,
All
thank
right.
you.
I really do, okay?
Okay, thank you.
You ready?
I motion to reopen at 8:26.
Hey, good.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
What is it, Julie?
Okay, we got,
Just
uh,
Aye.
we have an
Did you
invoice.
ask for the recess, or did you-
Yes.
We have an invoice
have two of
for
them.
Julie, and 2 invoices for the Eagle Tribune.
Yes.
How's it going so
Did you put an ad in the
Pretty
singles
easy.
again?
far? Yes, yes, I did, yeah. Yeah. You should see this. Oh, you went from there.
Noah was quicker. Noah built his art quicker. Let's
Oh,
go.
you could be right there.
I want to see it when it's in the water, so I can go on.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking about closing the garage, I can float in it. If I
Better
could get a
test
water
it.
tank, I would.
Get any more rain, won't we?
Yeah, I had to, you're right.
Be living in it.
Yeah.
Are you allowed to build boats on your property?
They can't have a houseboat.
Yeah, husband. Okay, we'll pass this down, you can read this and we'll take it back and take a vote. How's that?
You need to sign, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you should
Oh,
sign
we'll
it
have
if
to
you
sign
accept
it.
it.
Yeah,
That way we
yeah.
don't have to do that again.
Yeah, we have to do that.
I'm sorry, what is it?
Yeah, so
Dr.
anyway,
Laura.
That's what happens. You know, split second thing.
Get my coat back.
I thought it was a lot worse, but I had to be there, because otherwise it didn't cut my way through. Two screws. So I quickly walked out, so I had to take the shots.
They started Austin Prep.
That's a nice little school.
Yeah, this guy started working for you, should see this
That's
guy.
my style.
I'm working for a company called the Oil Company. Actually, the guy is in business.
Sorry, it was just the top. Flying
You
off.
need to sign these.
I think
this
it
one.
was,
What's the name of the company?
The Airway Company.
Just no issues.
What is this one here? Is the picture too?
That's the bond.
Yeah. How'd you get that?
How come you got a picture?
Google.
You Googled
You wanna get with the nineties?
Yeah.
And then we'll move on to the.
No.
Actually, I got this from the MLS listing,
Oh,
Oh, okay.
from when, because they're buying it, so I went on MLS and it actually had a picture of the bond, so that's how I got it. But I got the other one from Google, you know, just like an aerial shot, so you
Yeah,
can
that,
see
yeah.
where the driveway goes down, and then the
Yeah,
back
it
barn,
really-
and then the 3-car garage.
It's really close to the road.
Yeah.
And there's hedges. Like this hedge right here goes right across the front.
Right.
And there's only opening for one car. It's like, then it opens up in front of it, and the house sets like this to the road. So, but he says that it goes out around, but it's gonna be quite a ways down there. I mean, in the wintertime would be fun to get down there and
Well, they got the 3-car garage down there, you know, so I'm sure they'll be able to do with it.
But there's a two-car.
I wouldn't wanna
garage.
plow it, let me
There's a
tell you
two-car
that.
garage attached to the house.
Yeah.
so what have you been up to?
Yeah, you seen that?
My
It's
daughter
big-
Lisa
it's a
who
nice house.
can't, the
Yeah, there's the
23rd.
garage
It's a
there.
very attractive house.
Where's Gardner?
Got a couple
Yeah,
more
it's-
weeks with her.
This is
She's
Garrison.
gone.
Where's
It's
Garrison?
right off of,
Right by the dentist.
What have I been up to?
By the
What's it
dentist,
yet?
go in the
I spent
road
the day at
there.
Mass General yesterday.
if you go up
By
here
Doc?
to the church, take a left onto King Street,
Oh.
and take an immediate left onto
He's got
Garrison
burned.
at
Yeah.
the stop sign.
It's about
It's like
$3,000
right here,
Yeah.
like this is where the intersection would be, like right here, and then
So King and what?
I got there.
King and
Garrison.
And I didn't get home till about.
where
8 o'clock
Gardner,
last night.
like you're thinking the other end.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's like at that 4-way stop, it changes to Garrison.
Oh,
Yeah.
alright.
Yeah,
If you go down
it's
that
like,
way.
it's like the third house on the left.
Scanned,
Okay.
everything. And my, they took it back to me, and I,
So we'll
You're
pick them
kidding
back
me.
and we'll read them. Okay, we got them all set? Okay,
You're my ace in the hole. What's that? Cause I keep getting called out to Tokyo.
do we have any questions on the first one
Oh, yeah.
for
Boy,
Julie?
you go to PB,
No.
Oh, yeah.
huh?
Any questions, Jane, on
Go to PB.
Julie's administrative assistant, secretary for 38378? Any questions? Any questions to anyone? How about a motion to accept?
I motion to accept that.
Okay, second
You
it?
don't do it like that.
How
You
do we
have
do
to
it?
say the, give it to me.
I did it.
Motion to accept,
Oh, yeah, okay, gotcha.
invoice for Julie House. Come on,
I
don't
did
be
it.
lazy.
Okay. all right. Make a motion to accept invoice 2013-7 dated 9/4/13 for Julie House in the amount of $383.78.
Second.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
There you go.
Okay. The second one would be, I make a motion to accept the Eagle Tribune dated 6/30/13 and 8/30/13 in the amount of $1,108.80.
Second.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
We got some more. Thought we had more.
No, we have.
That's
Said
it?
it. Anything else, Julie?
Okay, what else? Do we have anything else on the agenda? Open discussion.
Do we know what happened with DeLeo?
he told me that it wouldn't be.
Feasible now?
Yeah, it's not feasible for him to be.
That's too
helping
bad. That's
So,
too bad.
when they withdraw like that, is it, can they come back?
Yes.
Or is it, okay, so.
No prejudice, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And would they have to pay to come back?
Yes,
Okay, but it's just,
right, there's no
Okay.
ruling, no
Okay.
prejudice.
all right.
That's a shame.
What were they looking to do?
Expand.
So we're gonna expand it to the front to add,
They wanted seating space.
seating space, yeah.
Oh, I see.
But I think what happened, once they did their homework, it may have been a little not cost effective
Yeah.
for the return.
Mm.
So. Anything else?
Too bad, nice business.
Anything else to
No.
talk about? Go ahead.
Can I just request that we get the front page of the application updated?
Yep. Yeah, I'll be doing that. I need, I actually spoke to Tom about the application, the front page of it. There's a board member that does not want his phone number on it. So, after talking to Tom, we're just gonna put Tom's phone number, the
Oh,
chairman's,
yeah.
and my phone number, and not put, no one else is on there.
No, that's fine.
Is
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, as long as
alright?
it, but I think we just
So
need to
that-
have it updated to
Right.
reflect what the
Right.
current,
Yeah, you
What
know,
I'll do is I'll put the board members down on it, but I won't put any phone numbers down.
I think what happened was someone handed, I see someone I saw that too, that someone handed the wrong application.
Yeah, one's really old
Yeah,
and
that's
the other
one,
one's
yeah.
new.
So I think that's what happened, yeah, I saw that at the same time. So if you could update it, and who hands them out?
Ann does.
Ian, okay.
And I update them all the time, it's just that I've been
But-
happens
She might
she
have
runs
too many
out,
Might have got the wrong
copies.
one.
she might, like
That's all
photocopies an old one, so.
Yeah,
so maybe another suggestion would be that once you've got the front page updated,
Mhm.
to physically go and retrieve all of the old ones.
yeah, that's all. That's a good idea.
I've actually sent her,
And maybe leave her, like 2 originals, maybe in a folder,
yes,
so that she always has an original to copy from.
yes. I actually emailed her the form to her computer, so if she ever needed it, it would be on her computer, so. Yeah, but I will do that.
Might have got.
Can they put them
left out.
online? The application's online? Is it online? I'm not
I
sure.
don't think they are. That's something, I could look into that.
Because I know there's forms and
Sometimes,
stuff out
yeah,
there.
some towns do have that stuff online, that wouldn't be a bad
It's
idea.
just a
really
basic
what we should
application,
do
yeah, it's
anyway.
just a basic
You know
application.
something?
I
we-
don't see, if we can post the
Simplify.
minutes online, why can't we post the application
Yeah.
online?
Right.
It's a Word, it's a
Exactly.
Word document,
Yeah,
right? Or, what, better yet, so this is what I would suggest, put it in a PDF.
Yeah, that's what I
And
was
put the
gonna say.
PDF up there.
Right.
And then
Then
people
put a
can
Word
print it
document.
off.
yeah.
They change them. If
Yeah.
you put a Word
It is a
doc, they'll
PDF.
just change it.
Right,
Oh, no, that's.
So you
what
do
I
it
was-
as PDF,
yeah.
And they take it off.
Yeah.
Fill it up.
Right.
Actually, what you should do is why don't you just take the bylaws and put the form as the first front pages?
So they can rewrite them as they go along?
Well, no, at least they can look at it and reference them, you know?
I thought at one point in time, we discussed about, making it a simpler form.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I have all of that.
I have all that at home.
For years, that have been initiated.
Right.
How many years ago? Oh,
Well,
wait a minute.
if we're gonna
almost
put it
7.
online, why don't we
Anyway,
cut it
I
down
have it all
some
right
then?
here.
I
Why don't we
vote
just
that
cut
we
it
do
down?
I think.
Really?
Maybe just put like a blank sheet.
that. Yeah, just put the number in.
Yeah.
You know
yeah.
what, this is what we should do. We should just put a little box out there on the table with all that other stuff. And then just let people submit whatever they want.
Yeah.
And then we'll just collect the box once a week, right?
Yeah, put 'em in. It does seem to be a little cumbersome.
It is.
Yeah.
It's
And
very-
it-
There's information in there that we have no business asking.
It could be a lot shorter.
Absolutely correct.
It could be a lot shorter.
Like what?
Absolutely correct.
Well, maybe,
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe,
See the application.
How many employees?
Yeah,
Who cares?
Exactly. Exactly right, who cares?
well, I'll tell you, the.
That's
only
for the
thing
fire code.
The other thing that does happen is parking requirements. Parking could be at a minimum, and if you got
There are
20 employees
reasons.
and you only got parking for 6 people, then that's an issue.
but the timing of when the employees come and go may be relevant.
Yeah.
No, we don't ask that question.
Yeah.
You could have 100
But that's,
brokers
but
that
that's an issue.
work on the
I
road,
think-
and
I
then
think that is an
it's
issue.
just off point.
For parking.
The fun is going to begin.
So, any other discussion?
Don't you point that finger at me.
You got anything else?
No, is this something that we're gonna do as a board, is sit down and rewrite this
No, I think that,
application,
well,
or-
I think the new members should do that.
Well, wait a minute, could I?
We've been talking about it for a long time, maybe not the new people.
Well, I have a question, I mean, if we circle back, because I'm a new guy and
Yeah.
I defer to the,
Sure.
the experts.
Yeah.
Why would a doctor's office with a history of continuous use require a special permit to continue that same use within that same location,
Yeah.
simply because it's a new business?
Because
Because the ordinance requires it, that's why.
Yeah, but it's illegal.
I'm
It's
not
a
sure I
different
interpret it
building.
that way. It
illegal.
seems like it violates
And
the
you-
skid case.
You guys got violated from the federal.
Well, I mean,
Court.
I don't disagree with you, but the fact is, it doesn't run with the property, it runs with the person. And that's an ordinance issue.
No, but what he's saying
You get a
is if
free-
it's the same use.
You got a pre-existing non-conforming use that was at some point in time granted
Right.
or grandfathered in, so somebody's
got
just.
nothing to do
It's not
somebody's-
grandfathered.
So somebody's just tolling on that or tacking on that, and it doesn't change that use whatsoever.
It's
Why
not
couldn't they
grandfathered.
step in the shoes there?
No, read the ordinance, because sometimes
But the ordinance has to conform with the state statutes and the state case law.
You're going a little step beyond the board. I mean, the board, you have to enforce the ordinance, and if there's an issue, then it goes to the court, and the court would be a lawyer who knows the governor, is appointed to the court, and he would then, the judge, make a decision as to how to interpret that particular ordinance.
From my understanding, I'm sure to uphold the Constitution of the United States as well as the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and within
Yeah, but
that
let me stop-
subset,
let me
you
stop
have
you
to
right
follow
here.
case law.
Hold on. First of all, with all due respect, you're a board member, but not the attorney for the board.
I understand
Okay,
that.
so just we don't need another attorney, trying to tell us all the case laws, because that's what judges do.
Well, I've heard several times within my first meeting, the intent of the law and the intent of the law, under whose interpretation of that
Well,
intention. I mean, that's
it's the
where
board.
I want to.
That's what the board's here for. We're a lay person,
I understand
lay
that.
people, making lay people.
But I've
decisions,
also heard
not-
tonight that no one's
not-
cracked the book here, and maybe we ought to.
Okay.
Well, it's the same thing if you don't think it's right
True.
for somebody to have to come in for a special permit because it's the same use. The
Change
permit
use.
only follows that person.
Yeah,
It's the
that's what
same
it
thing
says.
when you go and you buy a car from somebody who just got an inspection sticker, but because you purchased that car, you have to go and get another inspection sticker. Now, I would say, why would I have to go and purchase another inspection sticker
Same car.
when I know this car has just passed inspection? But it was a change of ownership, and that is a problem with our laws. It's not the problem of what is going on, that's the way it is.
But to me, at some point in time,
It's
there
the
was,
same
there
thing.
was a site assessment, and there was a purpose to that particular property when it was built and when that development was put in place there. And so, if nothing's changed in the use of that location, then why is it that everyone that goes in there needs to get permission to
Because
continue?
it's a business
because the
permit per
ordinance says
person,
that,
per
that's why.
business, not
Because
for the property.
It goes with the person, not with the property.
Well,
Yeah,
in
that's-
that particular property, it could change. Next week, it could be a pet store. Next week, it could be.
But his point is it did.
Right.
It
it's
did.
so
My
many
point,
units there, it
my
could be
point is
something
very
different.
specific,
Right.
that it went from a
You're right.
In
doctor
this
to a
case, it was
doctor.
the same.
But that's see, that's what the ordinance says. The ordinance says, whether I agree or not, and I tend to agree with you, and I always have. And I've worked with municipalities who have done it your way, where it ran and didn't care who it was, but also it ran with if it was non-conforming and it closed for a year, it couldn't become a non-conforming again. Then again, I've had ordinances where if it was non-conforming and you had a use that was non-conforming, but it was less non-conforming, as determined by the Board of Appeals, you could have it, but not more non-conforming, as determined by the Board of Appeals. So it's all depends on what the ordinance says. Our ordinance says it runs with that particular person who got the special exception. So, whether, that's just the way it is. I don't disagree with you, but that's what the ordinance says.
The reason for the permit that was so quick is because it was the same thing. If it was a different business, that would have been a little bit more involved. But because it was a doctor's office, that made the permit process that much easier. But the permit is to the business and the owner. It does not go with the piece of property that they move into.
So
Once that owner is gone, the permit is null and void. Says that right in the permit.
And we've had the same thing with accessory, if you read the ordinance about the accessory dwelling units, and we've had one up by one of your neighbors, 7 Star, that, the people sold the property, and the new owners had to come in and get a new permit for the exact same thing, but that's the way our ordinance is written. So that, and the same thing here, the ordinance is written that way. I don't know why it's that way, but, maybe it ought to be changed. But
I mean, it's usage, if an accountant's
Right.
going into an accountant's office,
I
it's
don't
a waste
dis-
of time to do this,
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
And it's costly.
Yeah.
It's burdensome on the filer.
That's another way to make money, and they
But-
do it all the
but-
time.
But that's, that's what the ordinance says, so that's what we're here to, to uphold the ordinance, so. Anything else?
No, I'm just,
Okay.
I'm awake now, how about
All
you?
right, yeah. It must be about the 7th inning, so.
Yeah, we gotta
What do
go.
you think?
Okay, somebody close up.
We need a notion to adjourn.
I motion to adjourn the meeting at 8:44.
Okay?
Second.
Second. All those in favor?
All right.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Thank you.
Thank you, Charlie.